What is up, loved ones? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Lolo. I've been thinking about something for a while, and you know I love sharing it with y'all. Normally I'm doing my makeup, but today is not one of those days, okay? I've been running errands. I've been doing a lot of work on the computer. So we lounging, we talking, just get into the conversation. There's a quote that I have used in plenty of public forums and interviews where I say, your disability is an honor and not a burden. And I post this quote to my Instagram audience and my audience here on YouTube to see, am I the only one that feels this way about myself? And honestly, I got a lot of mixed opinions about this. So much so that I really wasn't even expecting it. But one of the things that was a little louder than the responses everyone was giving me were the ones where I felt like people didn't quite understand what I meant by the quote, or what I mean by the quote when I say it. So I wanted to spend this time talking it out with you guys of where my head is at when I say that, and then continue to have a conversation around this theme of loving yourself while also being a disabled person. So when I say the quote, your disability is an honor, not a burden, I look at it from the perspective of a Bible scripture. There's a scripture in the Bible, don't know which one it is, I'm gonna be completely honest, but basically that says, God never puts too much on you than you can bear. And for me, I've always used that as a sense of motivation and realization that, you know what, no matter how hard life gets, if God didn't think I could handle it, he wouldn't give it to me. So when I think about disability and the disability community, I really think about how strong you have to be to live a life with a disability. This isn't to be like inspiration, can I say this on YouTube? It's inspiration porn. This isn't about, oh, people with disabilities are so strong, they're so overcoming. Yes, we are, but just like, hear me out a little bit more about this. When I think of the strength of the community, I'm thinking of innovation, I'm thinking of creativity, literal strength too, to deal with certain symptoms or experiences, things happening in our body. One time a therapist told me that our bodies are very loud. So if you're feeling twitches or spasms or pain, that's just your body being loud. When I think about the fact that people with disabilities have to deal with something, lack of movement in places they don't want to move, whatever it is, the strength you have to just navigate every day through those circumstances. And so to know that you are that strong lets you know the average person can't handle it. And that would mean your disability is an honor to have because you can handle it and not a burden. Now, what I failed to recognize is that my experience having my disability is not the same as the next person. It is very true that people's disability is truly a burden. When you can't get out of bed, or you thought you were going to have a good day and then something happens with your body now, it ruins your mood and everything. I can empathize with that because I've had days where I'm like, damn, I wanted to do something, but the pain in my back is too much. My leg could want to do this, but now it's not as strong and I'm noticing it and I don't want to panic and I don't want to cause anxiety. Like, I totally empathize with that. And so what I had to recognize was like, unless I articulate what I mean by the quote, I don't think a majority of people are gonna fully understand it. And so I just kind of wanted this to be a conversation of recognizing the spectrum of disability. And my intention is never to disregard that my experience is different from the next person's. But it is a quote that is ultimately intended to motivate and encourage, because regardless of my quote, other people's quotes, or whatever the case is, the thing that I actively try to do with all of my content, and the reason I started to begin with, is because I simply wanted the disabled community to know that the life that they want to live is possible. I know that some people's journey might be a little bit more complicated, a little bit more involved than other people's, but I've seen people of varying disabilities still be able to live the life that they want to live. And that messaging is not promoted enough. It is not shared enough, especially within the community and outside of the community. Sometimes I'll do a video intended to motivate and encourage, and somebody will still say something like, well, Lolo, just because it's you. How do we get to a space as a community to know we have power? We are innovative, we are creative, we are powerful, we are great as a community. So how do we get from being discouraged about ourselves to being encouraged to live the life that we live, even with our disabilities? At the end of the day, every day somebody's becoming a new person with a disability. There should be resources and a community to say, hey, I understand what you're going through. I can empathize with what you're feeling. Some things change and some things don't, but please don't give up on your life. Don't be too sad or mad at God or whoever. Like, please find a way to make life worth for you, because it is worth it. It is a life worth living, and it is possible to perceive your life and experience your life in a way you never thought you could. And I'm not sure how to articulate that in a short sentence, but I do feel like that my intention behind the quote is really rooted in a belief system that the community has of ourselves due to social conditioning, due to the lack of support from family and friends and loved ones, the lack of support within the communities, whether it's schools or church or hospitals, medical facilities. It is hard, yo. I get it. It really is, but it is possible, y'all. It's so possible to live the life that you want, even if you have to be the first one to do it. Okay? I would love to get your feedback in the comments below. It's never my intention to disregard or not take as serious other people's experiences with their bodies and their disabilities. I have spent so many years actively pursuing, exploring, and finding new ways to touch the community, especially those who don't have the same support system that myself or other people with disabilities might have. All right, so I love y'all. Can't wait to see what y'all think in the comments. Until next time, bye.